Yeah, I knew there were two other points I wanted to make about Fiona. One was the inquest. And once again, I've done it again. I should have flashed the inquest notes up in their entirety. But you have to contend with my bad handwriting, and faded handwriting at that. One thing that was pointed out to me yesterday was that the pathologist should have had some idea, even a guess, as to what time Fiona died. I took very thorough notes at that inquest. I don't think I missed anything that was said. And we were told the time she was pronounced dead, but we were not told at what time she might have actually died. And that was relevant, actually, and should have been mentioned, because Ellen had told me several times that the boyfriend had waited a number of hours after Fiona was dead, and before getting help, which I totally believe. Given, for example, that my father, who shouldn't have known anything whatsoever, and I do keep making this point, phoned me at 7 a.m. and she was pronounced dead at 9:15. My father told me she was dead at 7 a.m. and she was pronounced dead at 9:15, which was, of course, my first warning that something was badly amiss, to put it mildly. I knew something was badly amiss the moment that he phoned me. Not because he said that she was dead, but because he knew that she was dead. You would have had to know my father and to know the list of previous similar incidents to understand why it alarmed me so much that he should ring me at 7 a.m. in the first place. To tell me, to be frank, that a young woman I had never met was dead. Okay, so the pathologist didn't make any guess at what time Fiona died. Or at least if he did, it wasn't mentioned at the inquest. The other thing I want to say is that I do have some idea of why Fiona may have taken a downhill turn. Her adoptive father died in 1988, the same year that she had her son. And she was very close to him. By Ellen's own admission, she was closer to her adoptive father than she was to Ellen. So that hit her hard. But I think the other thing that hit her extremely hard, and I don't know when she found out, was that her real mother, and I will say real mother, lived about 30 miles away. She married the year after, I think it was the year after, or at most 2 years after Fiona was born, and then had another daughter. And I think it was 69. And the entire family, her mother and her stepfather, well, I guess that would be what he was in point of fact, and her half-sister all lived, less than an hour's drive away from where she lived. Well, had I been Fiona, I would have wanted to know why I'd been given up. And this is something I only do when I am convinced that the person in question is not an innocent and has some involvement. Her real mother is called Deirdre, not Deirdre. You can get confused if you look her up on free BMD for a start. It doesn't end in an E, it ends in an A. Deirdre Franklin, married name. Deirdre Craig Bryce, maiden name. And the reason that I am doing this is that when I checked out her husband, he had criminal connections to my father and worked in the same areas as my father, notably Mitcham.